Welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. A very sombre edition of the dceu Daily to begin with today. Because even though this is a dceu show every day that I do for the DC Extended Universe and talking about comic books, sometimes and even the animated movies, today is a time for DC fans and Marvel fans to unite, because I woke up, as most of you did, or maybe you're in America where it was early evening when you found out. And we need to talk about this, and I need to dedicate today's dceu Daily to the memory of Chadwick Boseman. As I say, I woke up this morning with the shocking news that Chadwick had died. Now, you didn't know, and I didn't know, that he'd been fighting for 4 years against cancer. I'm not sure what type of cancer, or I can't remember. We are going to read a Variety article very shortly about Chadwick and his tragic loss. Chadwick Boseman. Now listen, I'm a big DCEU fan, I'm a big DC fan, big Smallville fan, as you all know. I'm not a big fan of Marvel or the MCU, but I do have the movies, and I do enjoy them. They're okay, and I've always been straight with you about that. And one of the movies I absolutely adored was Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. In fact, let's go back to the very beginning of his adventure as Black Panther, as T'Challa. He was introduced in the 2016 movie Captain America Civil War, one of the most popular MCU movies. This guy was exquisite as his introduction began. He was angry. He was going after Bucky. That performance of wanting to avenge his father's death was beautiful. Beautiful. And I know some of you will question me today, DC fans, Snyder fans, fellow DC fans, fellow Snyder fans, why are you talking about a Marvel actor, an MCU actor? It matters, because at the end of the day, we are one community of nerds. Whatever side our bread's on, we butter our bread on. We all love comic books. We all love artistry. We all love performing arts. We all love storytelling, right? We all love superheroes, right? And I think when one of our brethren falls, we should show some respect. Now, this character did mean quite a good deal for me. Not massively. I'm not talking about Superman here. Superman's my man and always will be, right? He's my dude. But Chadwick Boseman was so amazing as Black Panther. And he dominated and electrified every scene he was in. I loved him and he was in Infinity War and he was in Endgame. He was in Infinity War, wasn't he? He's definitely in Endgame, right? But he was amazing. And one of the biggest tragedies here, well, actually, let's get this right. The biggest tragedy is the loss of his life, the loss to his family and friends and the people who knew him, loved him and worked with him. That's the biggest loss. But one of the biggest losses here is that potentially he could have been the new leader of the Avengers. With no more Stark, with no more Captain America, right? Or Chris Evans Captain America, there was someone who had to run the Avengers. And I think T'Challa, a.k.a. Chadwick Boseman, would have been such a great fit. And in terms of representation and inclusion, it would be great as well. But let's get one thing clear here. We're not just talking about an actor of colour. We're talking about an all-round great actor. Now, I've read a lot of kind of dedications to him already, and that political ideology is being stuffed in there. This is about a man's life. This is about a man who suffered for 4 years with cancer and still made movies like Black Panther, like Captain America Civil War during this illness. So he died at the age of 44. Now I'm going to read the article from Variety. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther star, dies at 43. By Adam Very and Pat Snapstein. Chadwick Boseman, star of Black Panther, died on Friday after a 4-year battle with colon cancer. His rep confirmed to Variety he was 43. Before he was cast as the Marvel Studios superhero, Boseman's career first exploded with his portrayals of Black American icons Jackie Robinson in 2013's 42 and James Brown in 2014's Get on up. I never saw either of those films. I didn't know his filmography. I'm not going to pretend I do, but I loved him. T'Challa, aka Black Panther. It is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the passing of Chadwick Boseman, said a statement posted to his Twitter feed. It was the honour of his life to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. There is actually a full little thing here on his Twitter account. It is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it these last 4 years. As it progressed to stage 4, a true fighter, Chadwick persevered through it all and brought you many of the films you have come to love so much. From Marshall to The Five Bloods, August Wilson, Ma Rainey, Black Bottom, and several more, all were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy. What a hero. What a legend. Could you do that? No. Could I do that? No. Amazing. It was the honour of his career to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. He died in his home with his wife and family by his side. The family thanks you for your love and prayers and asks that you continue to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Absolutely. Spot on. We continue. Chadwick passing is absolutely devastating, said Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios and chief creative officer of Marvel, in a statement. He was our T'Challa, our Black Panther, and our dear friend. Each time he stepped on set, he radiated charisma and joy, and each time he appeared on screen, he created something truly undeniable. He embodied a lot of amazing people in his work, and nobody was better at bringing great men to life. He was as smart and kind and powerful and strong as any person he portrayed. Now he takes his place alongside them as an icon for the ages. The Marvel Studios family deeply mourns his loss, and we are grieving tonight with his family. Walt Disney co-chairman Bob Iger said, "We are all heartbroken by the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman, an extraordinary talent and one of the most gentle and giving souls I have ever met. He brought enormous strength and dignity and depth to his groundbreaking role of Black Panther, shattering myths and stereotypes, becoming a long-awaited hero to millions around the world and inspiring us all to dream bigger and demand more than the status quo." You see what I mean? They just can't help themselves, can they? We mourn all that he was, as well as everything he was destined to become for his friends and millions of fans. His absence from the screen is only eclipsed by his absence from our lives. All of us at Disney send our prayers and heartfelt condolences to his family. Although Boseman never spoke publicly about the diagnosis, according to the statement, he worked through his treatment for much of his career, starting when he played another Black American icon. NAACP lawyer and future Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall in 2017's Marshall. A year before the premiere of Black Panther, Boseman most recently appeared in Spike Lee's Vietnam War drama, The Five Bloods. And this year he's due to appear opposite in Viola Davis Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, a feature adaptation of the August Wilson play directed by George C. Wolfe. Wow! So at least we've got to see him one last time. That's pretty exciting, right? He was born the youngest of 3 boys and raised in Anderson, SC by his mother, who worked as a nurse, and father, who worked in a textile factory. When he was a junior in high school, Boseman wrote and staged a play about the shooting death of a basketball teammate, which turned his life towards the arts. He studied directing at Howard University, where he was mentored by Felicia Rashad. After moving to New York, Boseman was a part of a local theatre scene and began landing guest roles in shows like Law & Order, CSI NY, and ER, as well as series regular part on the NBC mystery Persons Unknown. Boseman's first big break, however, came when he was cast in 42 to play Jackie Robinson, in the first black man to play in the Major League Baseball. Poignantly, Boseman's death is on the same day as Jackie Robinson Day, MLB's annual celebration of the pioneering player. Reaction to Boseman's death was swift and profound. Both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the Democratic candidates for president and vice president, expressed their condolences on Twitter. I kind of don't like this. It's such a political move. They couldn't give a shit about Chadwick, right? The true power of Chadwick Boseman was bigger than anything we saw on screen, from Black Panther to Jackie Robinson. He inspired generations and showed them they can be anything they want, even superheroes. Jill and I are praying for his loved ones at this difficult time. Kamala Harris, heartbroken, my friend and fellow Bison. Chadwick Boseman was brilliant, kind, learned and humble. He left too early, but his life made a difference. Sending my sincere condolences to his family. Feige first announced that Boseman had been cast as T'Challa, aka Black Panther, on October 28, 2014, at a splashy press presentation of the studio's upcoming slate. The actor won wide praise for his first appearance as the character in 2016's Captain America Civil War, which only made expectations for the impending debut of Black Panther, the first ever Marvel Studios movie headlined by a black actor, that much greater. Boseman at least outwardly shouldered them with ease. Even after the film shattered box office records when it debuted in February 2018, Black Panther grossed over $1.3 billion worldwide, forever exposing the pernicious untruth in Hollywood that movies with predominantly black casts won't gross well overseas. Now, I've never heard anyone actually say that, and if people in Hollywood have actually said that and thought that, more for them, because at the end of the day, it's not the colour of the person's skin that makes a great movie. It's the story and the talent behind it. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is, what gender pronoun you are. If you are talented, then you will be successful. It's as simple as that. It's difficult to overstate the impact Black Panther and Boseman had on the larger culture. The film was the first superhero movie ever nominated by the Academy Awards for Best Picture, earning 6 other nominations and winning 3. I still don't think it deserved its Academy Award nominations, but that's just my personal opinion. More to the point, as Black Panther, Boseman presented to the world an image of powerful and thoughtful black man who was the leader of a thriving African nation and a superhero, willing to race into whatever battle he felt was worth fighting, no matter the odds. Interestingly enough, Chadwick wasn't nominated for a Best Actor nomination. That's a nomination I could have swallowed because he was absolutely fantastic. Rather than the other nominations, they just gave it because it had a predominantly black cast. So basically, this was a political move at the time. And as I say, it shows you how racist they actually are. They gave these stupid little nominations, but ultimately, when it came to Best Actor, he didn't get a nomination. Before Black Panther premiered, he was asked by Variety about the possibility of making a sequel. I'm enjoying this moment, he said. If we start talking about sequels, if we do 4 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, I just want them all to be special, like this one. Of course, he would have made 4 or 5 more, and even more than that. He was here to stay in the MCU, and what a tragedy that we won't be seeing him again. Yes, that's Chadwick Boseman, who died Friday morning, Friday night, of cancer. It's a very sad day. I now ask you all let's just sit here for a few seconds, and I do have some DCEU talking points. We'll be reading an article from Heroic Hollywood about the Batman. But first, I want us just to sit here for about 10 seconds in silence and remember the great actor who played one of the greatest superheroes of all time, Black Panther. Let's remember and celebrate Chadwick Boseman. Thank you very much. And now we carry on with today's DCEU Daily. Yes, Jeffrey Wright discusses the detective element in Matt Reeves' The Batman script. Jeffrey Wright says Jeffrey Wright says the new version of Gotham is accessible to audiences but still fantastical. So, the Batman star Jeffrey Wright opens up about Matt Reeves' script for the new version of The Caped Crusader, praising its direction and tone. DC fans are still in awe over the first trailer for Matt Reeves' The Batman, and the gritty tone that seems reminiscent of films like David Fincher's Seven and Zodiac. And in a recent interview on Sirius XM's The Jess Cable Show, Jeffrey Wright discussed his first reaction to reading the script for the new version of The Caped Crusader. He pointed out that it's returning to the detective element of Detectives Comics. He also referred back to the previous James Gordon actor Gary Oldman, noting the character acts like Dr. Watson to Batman's Sherlock Holmes. That's a really exciting element. Looking forward to that. As I said to you months ago, Matt Reeves is going to be very faithful to certain comic adaptations, and he's developing this whole world and trying to be faithful to some of the comics, and also he's going to develop the Bat family. It's a very exciting time to be a Batman fan right now. First of all, the script. When I read the script, I said to myself, yeah, this is on it, because as you described about Westworld, you know this show is very much about mystery. Batman the series, you go back to the original, it's DC, it's Detective Comics, and the script is really beholden to that. Beholden to this idea of Batman is the world's greatest detective. I think, as Gary Oldman once described, you know Gordon is something of a Watson to him. The script honours that and also sets a tone that's very clear and a tone that's been captured in that trailer. The Batman star Jeffrey Wright went on to praise the Batmobile after previously teasing fans with the sound of the iconic car on Instagram. He explained the grounded version of the car is a way of making Matt Reeves' Gotham accessible to the audience rather than filling Batman's armory with futuristic gadgets, which separates him from the present. He was also careful to note that it's still a fantastical take on the mythos. Absolutely. And I think one of the aspects of the script that I was really stoked about was the Batmobile. The way it was described as this kind of retro hyper-modified muscle car that's just the craziest, coolest thing you've ever seen. And when I read that, I said, aha, yeah, because what it's trying to achieve and what it does achieve is to create an accessibility for our Gotham, a world that is tangible and grounded in a very familiar reality. But at the same time, it's still fantastical, it's still tweaked. What's kind of interesting, actually, because originally there were rumours that this film's set in the 90s. Is this film actually set in the 90s? I'm not too sure. What do you make of Jeffrey Wright's thoughts? Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to talk to my subscribers and the new people. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And please follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. But anyway, right, what do we make of all this? Well, I think it's exciting. I like this idea of having him as the great detective. I like the idea of Commissioner Gordon, or the future Commissioner Gordon, or whatever title he's got in this movie, being the Watson to his Holmes. But he also talks about it being action-packed and a lot of, what Batman films should be. So I think it's great, and I'm really excited. I'm excited about the dark, gritty element of the film. One of the things I'm going to say, I know some of you are so faithful to Batfleck, BVS, and that version that you constantly go onto Twitter slating Robert Pattinson and this movie. Let me just try and give you some advice that you're totally going to ignore. First of all, you're not speaking for Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder is supporting this movie genuinely and he's excited for it. So you're not speaking for him and you're not pleasing him. And you certainly won't be pleasing Ben Affleck either. But it doesn't matter what you do or what you say, you are not going to put off people in their droves from going to see this movie. This is a foregone conclusion, at least $1 billion movie, critically acclaimed movie. You know it, and I know it, and there's nothing you can do about it. But this is what this multiverse strategy is about. We can have Batfleck, we can have Pattinson as well. It's great. So stop the negativity, right? And stop slaughtering the guy's hair. He's basic. If it is set in the 90s, it's more understandable that his hair's like that anyway. But he's not the finished article. I've tried to explain this time and time again. And some of you people are just not getting it. Zachary Levi shares impressive unofficial poster for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is actually an unofficial poster designed by David F. Sandberg, but Zachary did share it. It might not be the official, but this poster for Shazam! Fury of the Gods is pretty great. Shazam! Fury of the Gods star Zachary Levi showed off an impressive unofficial poster for the sequel to 2019 film from David F. Sandberg. After the title for Shazam's sequel was revealed at DC Fandom recently, Zachary Levi took to Instagram to show off an unofficial poster for the film and to share his excitement at returning to the role. So even though Dwayne Johnson stole a lot of the focus on the Shazam character with his preview of Black Adam, fans were still pleased to see Levi's Billy Batson and the rest of the family return for a sequel. But most recently, Levi shared a look at an unofficial poster for a newly announced sequel to explain how he's excited, they've not even done this right, how he excited is to step back into the red suit and those gold boots. That's basically them. Their words, not mine. The art for Shazam! Fury of the Gods assembles the rest of the superhero family underneath Billy Batson's superhero persona in a vibrant design. It's fair to say that this art is much better than the one recently posted by director David F. Sandberg during the DC Fandom Shazam panel. Shut up! Actress Faith Herman was drawing the poster before it ultimately revealed the title of the sequel. In the caption, Zachary Levi explained, he's mad excited to bring more Shazam to audiences across the world very soon before thanking fans for tuning into the DC Fandom live event. Take a look at the poster for the film below. This is awesome. This is awesome. Let's actually check out this tweet. This poster may be unofficial, but it officially warms my heart and gets me mad excited to bring more Shazam movie to you all as soon as humanly or superhumanly possible. Thanks to everyone who came out for DC Fandom, including Sinbad Bag, because Sinbad, that the comedian, right, he's actually going to be in this movie for being such a team player and going along with the zany fun. Wow, that's great. And here's the poster. And what do you think of that poster? Pretty cool, right? It's got Shazam there. It's got the Shazam family. I'm loving the hype train for both Shazam and Black Adam. And this is part of the variety we're going to get now in the DCEU, the DC live action universe. And I couldn't be more excited. Christopher Nolan is very, very excited for Robert Pattinson as the Batman. And this is what he's had to say. He certainly did not ask me for any advice. We kept a respectful silence around the issue until very near the end of the shoot. We said a couple of things and made a couple of jokes. We did have a little bit of a conversation about the various aspects of what he was going to be putting himself through. But I was thrilled that he was cast, and I think he'll do an amazing job. I'm really excited to see what he does with that character. So that's pretty cool, right? Very, very exciting. Christopher Nolan is on board for the Batman. Of course he is. He's got a strong relationship with Warner Media. Tenet is part of Warner Media. Great movie if you get a chance to see it, by the way, because the critics, again, have got this wrong. But the fans love it. The public, the consumer, love this movie. Big, big hit, even in COVID-19 world, right? So people are going back to cinemas, watching movies, watching Bill and Ted Face the Music as well. So there's buzz about movies in theatres again. So that's very, very exciting. And that gives me high hope for Wonder Woman 1984, keeping its date in October. Fingers crossed with that. But Christopher Nolan, very supportive. Obviously, he loves Batman. He wants Batman to be played by the right person. And I agree with him. And I believe that Robert Pattinson is the right man to play Bruce Wayne and the Batman. There are so many hopes and dreams for Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. What are mine? I'll take a deep breath and just say, I'm happy I'm finally going to see this film. Just seeing that abomination nearly 3 years ago, it was devastating. I just wondered where we were going to go from there. And thankfully we fought and things are being set right with Zack Snyder. People keep on telling us that Zack Snyder's films are too dour and depressing. But I don't see it like that. I see Zack Snyder's fans as epic. No. I just made a great video. And I made a cock up. I can't believe that. Should we carry on?